Hi, I'm Lauren Martz, Executive Director of Biopharma Intelligence at BioCentury, and I'm here today at BioFuture with Hanadie Yousef, co-founder and CEO of Juvena Therapeutics, which is fresh off of a $41 million Series A round this week. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, Lauren.
So I know the company is working on identifying and developing secreted proteins for age-related disorders. So could you tell us a little bit about this drug class and why this may make a difference for these types of indications?
Sure. So secreted proteins are in many ways the workhorses of our bodies. These are the type of proteins that are the signaling molecules that are secreted by cells into either blood circulation or locally in tissue microenvironments that are responsible for modulating inflammation, organ development, and tissue regeneration and repair. And so at Juvena, we are dedicated to decoding secreted proteins for better human health through a machine learning enhanced drug discovery and development platform that enables us to mine proteins secreted by stem cells in particular, and then accelerate their development into engineered biologics for chronic and age-related diseases to promote tissue regeneration, ultimately to rejuvenate lives.
And so I know that there are existing therapies that are based on secreted proteins. So what is the challenge in finding the proteins that would make good therapeutics for these kinds of indications?
Sure. So, while there are a few examples of proteins that are based on secreted or of biologics that are based on secreted proteins, such as, for example, insulin or human growth hormone, the pharma industry has largely ignored or been unable to really mine the full potential of this class of proteins due to technical limitations in the field, including the low abundance of their expression, the structural complexity of these proteins, and the really ability to then not only identify and find them, but then map them to the significant number of cells and organs in our body in which they might be binding and having an effect.
Okay. And so as we've been hearing at the BioFuture conference, there's so much enthusiasm around human longevity and age-related disorders. So I'd love to hear your story about what motivated you to start working in this space.
Sure. It was, first I really fell in love with drug discovery and development from a really young age. I was 16 and began working at Regeneron and knew, really quickly that I wanted to dedicate my life to it. And it was then later in my, during the time that it became a bit personal because my father, who was born a refugee and really worked so hard to overcome economic and turmoil and really war and come to this country in order to pursue higher education, economic opportunity, and freedom. He did so much to establish opportunity in a life that is different for his family, but in his 40s, he unfortunately developed chronic, debilitating, age-related diseases, metabolic disease, diabetes, cardiovascular, and then for the next 3 decades, we witnessed his degeneration. And what really inspired me to want to dedicate my life to understanding the biology of aging, mechanisms underlying tissue degeneration, and then develop therapeutics is because, by understanding the mechanisms underlying the aging process and what causes chronic diseases, we could there was opportunity to use that to target these mechanisms to actually reverse the aging process and promote rejuvenation of our tissues and ultimately health span, really rejuvenate lives. And so at Juvena, this is a lifelong passion and dedication of our team of wanting to ultimately create a whole pipeline of regenerative protein-based therapeutics that can target and even potentially reverse and cure chronic debilitating diseases.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.